Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? I certainly hope you're doing fine, and I'm doing all right myself. First, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for tuning in today. I really do appreciate it. And I would like to welcome all of you to another episode of TJ's Topics. Certainly a pleasure to be with you once again. I consider it a joy, an honor, and a privilege to be able to come into your presence on any given occasion. Now, today I have a topic that I would like to share with you, and I'm going to get right into it, and that is moving on and still going strong. And I feel that this will be appropriate for this particular moment that we find ourselves in. Because here we are now, wrapping up the month of January. Can you believe that 2026 is getting old already? Now, with that being said, I don't think that any of us ought to still be walking around here saying Happy New Year at this point, because we're getting ready to cross over into February, which takes us into Black History Month, the second month of the year. So there's no reason to still be walking around saying Happy New Year now. Now, as we discussed this topic here, moving on and still growing strong, there are some different types of people that I think we need to dismiss from our lives in order to help us move on and go strong. We need to do that as we go further along in the year 2026. The types of people we need to move on from in this year are as follows. Number one, I would like to call them angry birds. They stay grumpy all the time. They're always upset and they take offense to every little thing. Number two, backbiters. They love juicy gossip and they like to talk about others, making them look bad, you know, and I'm sure that many of you have been stabbed in the back by somebody by way of gossip before. I know I have. And I've been on the opposite end as well because I have done that to people. And I'll admit it, because I'm no saint. Number three, naysayers. They tend to be pessimistic about everything. They're always critical of others and what they're doing, find fault in everybody. And they like to drain your spirit. I hate to be around those kind of people myself. So if you know somebody like that, get rid of them if you can. Number four, energy vampires. Now, I think all of us have had an encounter with somebody like that at one time or another. They drain your spirit. Oh my goodness. They irritate you constantly. They love to feed on your energy. And if you're not careful, they will have your mind so so confused I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. Then the next category is they're opportunists. Number five, they only call you when they need you. Like if they need a ride to the store or they need you to come do something for them. You know, those are opportunists. We've all had people like that in our lives. Sometimes they can be right in your own family. Number six, envious people. They're jealous. You know, they hate themselves and they hate others because of what they see in them, and what they have. They want it for themselves. They're insecure about who they are. And therefore they like to find fault in others because it's something that they see in those people that they wish they had themselves. Number 7, braggers. They love to talk about themselves and what they have. They love to talk about the things that they have done or what they intend to do. Now, I give you a prime example of someone who's a bragger, who is occupying the White House right now. All he does is brag on himself all the time, talking about this and that. He makes the whole conversation about himself. That's an example of a bragger. Number 8, the non-reciprocal ones. They never reciprocate the kindness that is shown to others. You can be nice to them all day and all night. You can do for them, but they will never return the favor. Those are the kind of people that you want to try to distance yourself from in 2026. Number 9, drama queens. And don't get it twisted, because when we think of drama queens, we often think of women, but they don't necessarily have to be female all the time. Sometimes they can be male, whereby they would be drama kings. They have these exaggerated responses for everything and can never give a straight answer to anything. They take too long to get to the point. Those are drama queens or drama kings. And finally, number 10, hypocrites. They don't live up to the values that they claim to possess themselves, and they definitely don't practice what they preach. And I think churchgoers, a lot of so-called Christians would fall into that category, because we know for a fact that Christians, unfortunately, are some of the biggest hypocrites around, because while they like to criticize everybody else and try to get on to others about what they're doing or not doing, they themselves have more than a few skeletons in their closet. So, so to sum it all up, once these type of people have revealed themselves to you, it's in your best interest to cut ties with them and move on. And by moving on, you will prove yourself to be strong. So I hope that will be one of your main objectives for this new year of 2026, because you don't want to get stuck in the same old rut that you've been in all of the previous years by hanging on to these people here, because they're nothing but leeches, or sapsuckers. And who has time for people like that? Moving on and still going strong. So that concludes this episode of TJ's Topics. And I hope that you got something from it. And if you have, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share with whoever you wish. And I want to thank all of my new followers out there. I now have over 2,000 subscribers, and I'm very grateful for that. And so I appreciate you very much. I look forward to seeing you again next time for another episode of TJ's Topics, when we will be in Black History Month in February. So until then, this is Taryn Jerome Harris, reminding you that every round goes higher and higher. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.